My brother and I both have ADHD. He just forgot about you. It's okay.
Yeah.
Him diagnosed, and I'm still waiting. We're in our 30s. He has a twin. We all had a turbulent childhood due to undiagnosed issues with our mother, resulting in a lot of trauma. I was parentified and took on too much responsibility at a very young age. Oh wow, as a result of a court order, I moved to live with my dad when I was 8 until I was an adult. They remained with our mom and their dad. Our relationship ceased for years, but we all reconnected once I moved out when I was 9. Zero explanation after my wedding 11 years ago. The other twin and I had our own issues over the years, but several years ago, he was facing jail time over something financially stupid, and I went home for the court date. He came away from it by the skin of his teeth, and since then, we have been rebuilding our relationship. He found love and also an ADHD diagnosis. Hooray! His mental health declined, and I was always on the other end of the phone. Meanwhile, my wife and I added 2 more children to our family. We went home every summer, and they even came and visited us. He did everything he could to become a better man. He got jobs and even promotions and started to make a good life for himself. I made sure to tell him regularly how proud I was of him. Part of finding his peace meant cutting our mom from his life. It was his choice, and I fully supported it. He soon asked me for advice on an engagement ring. Wow. Then came the save the date, and then the best call of my life to say a baby was due this January. He asked me and my wife to be his best woman, and I promised that we would pay for the wedding suits. He said that as he is an introvert, he didn't want a traditional stag. Instead, last December, I came over to England and went with him, his future wife, and another friend to a concert. He paid for the tickets, but it was only weeks before the wedding, and I had to find the money for the Airbnb, my flights, and spending money. It was tight, but we made it work. This is where things started to take a dive. The morning of the concert, he picked me up from the airport, and soon into the journey, announced that if my children caused a scene at his wedding, then we would be asked to leave. They had paid £25,000 for the day, and nobody was going to ruin it. All 3 of my children have additional needs, and he knows this. My wife is also autistic. I got upset, but eventually came to the understanding that after the ceremony, my wife would take them to McDonald's and then come back to eat with us. He also mentioned that his twin, who hasn't spoken to him in 9 years, wow, and me in 11, wow, might be attending alongside their dad. Dang, what a day to have a reunion. Your wedding? We had a brief chat about it, and eventually he said, I'm just not his twin, and ideally he would have wanted him. I was crushed, but we were on a motorway, so I just let it go. A couple weeks later, I see on social media that he's having a stag do. I knew nothing about it. When I asked him, he told me his fiance had organized it, and that I had said I couldn't afford to come back for a stag. I was supposed to be his best woman, and it had all been arranged without me even knowing. By this point, my wife is furious and doesn't want to attend the wedding at all. I had also been asking him for weeks to tell me when he needed the money for his suit, as I wanted to make sure he was paid for before ordering my own. He ignored me for weeks. As a result, my suit did not arrive on time, and 3 days before we were due to travel, I was running around trying to find forest green trouser suits with next day delivery. All in all, we spent an extra £300 on matching suits, so we didn't let my brother down. At this time, our landlady had also given us notice to vacate, and we had 0 savings, and we were needing it for the wedding. The day before the wedding, I went to drop the baby outfit off to my sister-in-law at their hotel and asked my brother if I could see him too. He read a little section of his vows, and it was a really moving moment. I told him I was worried that now that his twin was there, he wouldn't want me anymore. And he reassured me I was being daft. He asked me to come to the venue in the morning to get ready with them. The plan was for my wife to bring the 3 boys just before the wedding, so there was little chance of them causing a scene. But our youngest was so overwhelmed he wouldn't even put underwear on. So I took the 2 eldest, who were dressed, with me, and when I went to collect the buttonholes, I saw there weren't enough. The ones for my boys had been missed. My sister-in-law had specifically asked if we wanted them to have one, and we said yes, as they were a part of the groom's party. There was one for his twin, but my boys had been left out. The wedding planner asked if my boys would like to walk in with the bride. I was so happy. I felt like my boys were finally being accepted. The ceremony went off without a hitch and was beautiful. Everyone filters outside for the nibbles and drinks. My wife tells me she doesn't think she has a seat for the meal. Why are we accepting this? Like, just so much mistreatment. I tell her she must be mistaken because my brother and I made a plan. My eldest tells me he's hungry, so I approach my brother. He tells me the boys won't be able to get back in when they return because the doors will be closed and reiterates there's no seats for them. I check the seating plan and see my wife is correct. I walk them to the car, apologizing all the way. After everything, he has cut my family from his day. My wife tells me it's okay, that I should go back and enjoy the rest of the day. Looking back, I wish I had left with them too. You should have. I returned to the reception and made a beeline for my nephew. When people asked where my family were, I answered with, they didn't get a seat, or they went to get food elsewhere. I didn't know what else to say. As we were leaving, my youngest briefly stopped in front of the other twin brother, and in my lubricated state, I decided to talk to him. He hadn't even looked at me all day. I said, are you planning on talking to me at all today? He looked up from his phone, said nope, and went back to it. I just walked away, found my family, said goodbye, and left. We came home and haven't heard from them until yesterday. My wife and I have been trying to get in touch for at least a month now so we could air any grievances and move on. I sent a message to both my sister-in-law and brother asking for a reply because being ghosted was harsh. The reply I got was, in my opinion, crap